Jumbo, fellow adventurers, thoughts become things. Welcome to another spiritual tune up. Thanks for the awesome questions you post every day on Facebook and Instagram. Today's question, well, we've heard rumblings and we've touched on this slightly before, but let's go there again because it's really juicy. Are we living through the end of times? Mike, a prophecy was made in the 1600s about our world coming to an end in this century of 2000, starting with fires, flooding, hurricanes, and more. Can you please comment on this? All right. First, I got to tell you the obvious, which may not be so obvious. It's the hook of time and space is that nothing is as it seems. We are living our lives in a dream world. A dream world. This is an illusionary holographic world. And as Richard Bach wrote in his famous novel, Illusions, I highly recommend it. If we blow this world up, we'll create another one. Now that might sound cold and callous and uncaring. No, let's not blow this world up. This is so precious. It's so beautiful. I do not mean to speak down to, belittle, or somehow take things out of context. But if the question is based on a fear that we are going to just ruin everything and be lost for eternity, that need not be on your radar. Something is going. It is wild. But another tangent to this before I get to the core of my answer. Seth, I often quote Seth, dictated by the late Jane Roberts. She would channel the Seth material. Seth said, speaking to certain ancient prophecies about the world ending, Seth said that those prophecies were filtered, as are all communications, by the beliefs of the times and the beliefs of the person who made the prophecy. And back when these prophecies were written, in an era where Christianity ruled the world, or at least the world of the prophecy maker, when their higher self went within and projected into about this millennia where we now are, and saw that there was no trace of Christianity as it was in existence back when the prophecy maker spoke, they concluded it had to be the end of times. People were not walking around with their rosary. They were not walking around with the Bible. They were not going to church. Compared to the way life was back then, when morning, noon, and night, people's thoughts were regulated, constricted, and entwined in Christianity, in the part of the world where this prophecy was made. It's different in other parts of the world. And then they come here, and people are riding motorcycles and flying on airplanes and surfing in the ocean, and goodness gracious, who knows what else they saw us doing. They presumed, according to Seth, that it was the end of times. But get rid of the filter, and it's like, oh man, suddenly we move into spirituality in this millennia without the constructs of an inhibitive, restrictive, discretionary, segregationary, man-made religion. It's like so much better than things were back then. We've moved into spirituality without religion. We haven't lost our spirituality. We are in the process of losing our religion. Okay, that's a side note. Now let's get to the crux of things here. We, as a collective, are moving through an evolution of consciousness. Individually, every one of us is blooming. And collectively, we are blooming. And like attracts like. We tend to want to hang out with people who think like us. You know, the left wing of the political spectrum likes to be with other left-wingers. The right wing of the political spectrum likes to be with right-wingers. And those who are moving into love want to be with other people moving into love. Those who are resistant in fear want to be with other people resistant in fear. But overall, even though there's a lot of differences in what I just described, as far as our evolution to the light, as a race, as a species, humanity on planet Earth right now, we are surprisingly in a very similar place. We can find reasons to disagree with our neighbors, but we are all low on the vibrational scale, moving higher. And as has been shared by many channels and prophecy makers, right now, the vibrations in this part of the universe, the physical universe, especially on this planet, the vibrations are rising. It's moving faster. There's more light. There's more love. There's more truth. There's more excitement. There are more infinite possibilities than there have ever been. But that scares a lot of people. Some folks in this cluster, in our scale of moving from darkness into the light, some folks are so scared that they're resisting, they're fighting, they're throwing tantrums on airplanes, they've lost their power, they've lost their mind. Not totally, but we see what's going on in this rise of vibrations globally, planetarily, and at an individual level. We are considering things that we have never considered before, like Black Lives Matter, and all the other things in the last 24 months where we can truly see, oh my gosh, people are thinking things, admitting things, realizing things that they have not ever realized before. Some are thrilled about this and some are upset about this. But up until now, can you see how we've been caveman and cavewomen, where our priorities are based on fear for ourselves and not love for one another's? And in that mindset, where we have been heretofore, we've made some pretty poor choices. We've chased the dollar bills instead of loved ones. We've valued things that didn't need to be valued, and we've taken for granted things that should have been appreciated. We've spoiled the environment. Many people have been asking me in these tune-up questions about global warming. Number one, it's warming, okay? That's indisputable. The question is, are people doing it, or are people the cause of it? I think for most of us, we would say it's indisputable that we have had an impact. Maybe it would be warming anyway, but there's no doubt that we have contributed to it with massive pollution and recklessness and plastics in the ocean. This is some of our unintended manifestations. People aren't jerks. People aren't bad. People are doing the best they can with what they know. And if they're working on fear, bless them. They're doing the best they can and they're terrified. Their backs to the wall. They need to make a buck. They need to prove who they are. And so they've spoiled, as we all have to some degree or another, the environment. But this is making it possible for us to move into the light, as we're now doing, and see our mistakes and make some changes. And oh my gosh, it is so not too late. We are such a great place. The doomsdayers from the 1970s and the 1980s, when I was cutting my teeth on spirituality and channeled material, oh my God, they saw such a worse future than what we are now living. And what they all came back and said at the turn of the millennium was, well, you guys got it right. You started making better choices. And so the Armageddon that was once prophesied is no longer being prophesied to the degree that it was being prophesied. That doesn't mean we're out of the woods. That doesn't mean we can't trip up. But speaking to the evolution of consciousness by a collective, okay, many of the channeled works and the prophecies, etc., have spoken to a time of Atlantis. There's no doubt in my mind that there was not only Atlantis, but prior to Atlantis, other highly evolved, technologically advanced, far more than us today, on this earth. Not kind of, not maybe, not metaphorically, not as a model, not an analogy. Literally, there was the continent of Atlantis. And the story goes that while they developed their technology and crystal power and started bringing in spirituality, they still allowed their lust and thirst for innovation, aka technology, to outpace their ability to spiritually handle it. And ultimately, through warfare and powerful weapons using crystals, they disrupted life on planet Earth so much that it was like a total reset. The continent sunk. They dispersed to the Europe and Africa and the Americas. That's why we have pyramids on both sides, many say, and back to square one. And as we have reincarnated and come back and come back and come back, listen to a lot of the other tune-ups for reincarnation, and I'll answer all of your questions there. As we have come back, now many of the same Atlanteans who did not learn their lessons about honoring technology over spirit, over humanity, and who were still in a warfare state of mind, they're all reincarnating now because we're at that same fork in the road. And now we have an opportunity to learn from earlier mistakes in other lifetimes, whether it was Atlantis or on another planet, where we need to get our priorities straight. And the question is, will we do it? It looks like we're doing it. Things look really great compared to how they could have been. People are clearly waking up, as I've just said. So we're on our way. We're learning our lessons. And the question that I'm feeling right now that you're asking was like, we don't even remember our past lifetimes. How can we pick up where we left off before? As I have recently shared with reincarnations and the perks of past lives, see, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, we carry forward from one incarnation to the next the wisdom of the last one, and the wisdom including the mistakes learned from the last one. And in our in-between life states, we can see with all the lights on, so to speak, where we erred, where we got it right, where we could have done better. And that wisdom is brought back in this carnation. We don't generally remember the circumstances, the people, the places. Some folks do, and all folks can learn to remember it, but it's kind of beside the point. What's important is now, by the seat of your pants, being moved by love for others instead of being moved by fear for self. So here we are, learning it again. If we don't get it right this time, we're going to reincarnate back on planet Earth, and there'll be another fork in the road, and we'll have another chance. We live in a dream world. Life is eternal. Nothing can extinguish the spark of consciousness, the spark of God that is inside every single one of us. See it all as an adventure. See it all as an opportunity to fall deeper in love with yourself, with life, with beauty, with nature, with other people. They're so awesome. They're so sweet. It's so beautiful. The ecstasy of thinking human, being a person. One day at a time, raise your vibe, smile, reach out a hand, trust somebody, see the good, and you will automatically bring yourself into the light, attract greater insights, know the steps to take, and move into a heaven on earth, which is where we are indeed headed. All right, fellow adventurers, deep love from Orlando, Florida. Have an amazing week. Post your questions down below. By the way, under this video, live or recorded on Facebook or Instagram, click the link to join me and David G on September 1 for the meditation adventure. That's this Wednesday. For a price you choose, as low as $27 every day for 21 days, a video. You're walked through a 10-minute guided meditation. Find the style that suits you, and you'll use it and honor it for the rest of your life. It'll pay dividends for the rest of your life. Plus, David G and I are going to be hosting 4 90-minute workshops in the coming weeks for the participants. The low price point, if you choose the low end, choose the price that works for you, $27. That is just over $1 a day. I know you can do it. And we offer a money-back guarantee if it isn't all that. All right, happy Monday. Happy everything, forever and ever. Lots of love, and see you mañana. Okay, who do we got on Facebook? Tammy, Susan, Audrey. So glad you're here. Gwen, Richards, Linda, Patty. And on Instagram, Ashen Fire, Summer Life, Wanda. Glad you're in the house. Jolene. Yes, please. Sharon. Thank you all. See you tomorrow. Adios.